Imagine waking up to a news alert that fundamentally alters the global financial landscape, an announcement so profound that it instantly reconfigures the value of a currency you've been watching for years. This isn't a speculative fantasy or a guru's hopeful prediction anymore. This is the tangible, seismic shift that the entire Iraqi dinar investment community has been anticipating, and the trigger has officially been pulled by the one institution with the absolute authority to do so, the Central Bank of Iraq. The long-awaited stage for a global dinar value reset is not just being discussed in hushed tones on online forums or in cryptic analyst reports. It is being actively constructed, brick by financial brick, through a series of deliberate, strategic, and undeniable policy moves emanating directly from Baghdad. The Central Bank of Iraq is no longer just managing a currency. It is engineering a financial resurrection, a deliberate and calculated maneuver to sever the dinar from its tumultuous past and re-anchor it to a new future based on tangible economic strength and global credibility, not just hopeful speculation. For decades, the narrative around the Iraqi dinar has been one of potential, a story of what could be, based on Iraq's vast oil wealth and strategic geopolitical position. But that narrative has now decisively shifted from the theoretical to the operational, from a possibility to an active, unfolding process that is capturing the attention of central banks and forex traders worldwide. The evidence for this is no longer circumstantial. It is embedded in the hard data of monetary policy, in the public statements of senior Iraqi officials, and in the observable, real-time decoupling of the Iraqi economy from the strictures of the US dollar in domestic transactions, a move that is the essential first step in asserting monetary sovereignty and laying the groundwork for an independent, market-driven exchange rate. This isn't about a simple adjustment of a few fills. This is about a comprehensive reset designed to bridge the chasm between the official, programmed rate and the real, economic value that Iraq's immense natural resources and human capital command on the world stage. The central bank's recent actions, from aggressively pursuing international financial compliance to strategically building foreign currency reserves and fostering a banking sector capable of engaging with the global economy, are not random events. They are interconnected chapters in a single playbook, a master plan with one unambiguous endgame: to reposition the Iraqi dinar as a stable, credible, and strong Middle Eastern currency, capable of facilitating not just internal trade but international investment on a massive scale. Every step, from the slow and deliberate digitalization of the financial system to the painstaking efforts to secure correspondent banking relationships with major financial institutions in Europe and Asia, is a critical piece of the puzzle. They are systematically dismantling the very barriers that have historically suppressed the dinar's value: isolation, opacity, and dependency. The message being sent is crystal clear. Iraq is open for business, but it will be conducted on its own terms, with its own currency taking center stage. The period of waiting passively for external factors to force a revaluation is over. We are now in the era of active, internal creation. The Central Bank of Iraq is not waiting for a miracle. It is building the foundation for one, and for astute observers and investors who have been patiently tracking the fundamental indicators rather than just the rumors, the blueprint for the greatest currency revaluation story of our generation is now laid bare for all to see, and the construction is well underway. Moving with a purpose and a direction that can no longer be ignored or dismissed as mere hype. To truly grasp the monumental nature of what is unfolding, we must move beyond the headlines and dive deep into the specific, game-changing mechanisms the Central Bank of Iraq is deploying, because the devil, and in this case the deliverance, is in these details. Let's talk about the direct and tangible impact of the central bank's policies on the USD/IQD exchange rate, the single most important number for every investor following this space. For years, this pairing has been managed, controlled, and artificially stabilized, creating a significant gap between the official rate and the street rate. But that control is now being strategically relaxed to allow for a more organic and powerful valuation to emerge, driven by Iraq's real economic output. The recent fluctuations you're seeing in the daily and weekly exchange rate reports are not signs of instability. They are the birth pangs of a free-floating currency, the initial tremors before the major quake. The central bank is methodically reducing its lifetime dependency on the US dollar for all international trade, a policy that has historically acted as an anchor, holding the dinar down. By actively promoting the use of other major currencies like the euro, the Chinese yuan, and the Emirati dirham for Iraqi imports and exports, they are creating a diversified and resilient demand structure for the dinar itself, insulating it from the volatility of a single foreign currency and allowing its value to be determined by a broader, more robust set of market forces. This strategic diversification is a masterstroke in monetary policy, and its effects are just beginning to ripple through the global forex markets, where savvy traders are now starting to take serious, long-term positions on the IQD, recognizing that the risk-reward calculus has fundamentally shifted in its favor. Furthermore, the intense focus on combating money laundering and ensuring international compliance, often seen as a bureaucratic hurdle, is actually the key that unlocks global trust. You cannot have a global currency reset without the unwavering confidence of the international banking community, and every successful audit by the International Monetary Fund, every positive report from the World Bank on Iraq's financial reforms, and every new gateway opened with a foreign bank is a direct deposit into the bank of global credibility. This credibility is what will allow the new, revalued dinar to be traded freely and without restriction across borders, transforming it from a speculative asset into a legitimate instrument of international commerce. Analysts like Pimpy and Intel from sources like Mark Z have long discussed the importance of these benchmarks and milestones, and what we are witnessing today is the systematic checking off of each and every one of those boxes. The public is finally being given a front row seat to the meticulous, unglamorous, but utterly essential work of building a modern financial state. The recent news of massive infrastructure projects, oil prepayment deals, and strategic development partnerships with international conglomerates are not separate stories. They are the fuel being poured onto the economic fire that will superheat the dinar's value. Each billion-dollar deal signed does not just build a port or a power plant. It builds a tangible claim on the future value of the Iraqi economy, a claim that is denominated in and ultimately strengthens the Iraqi dinar, creating a powerful, self-reinforcing cycle of investment, growth, and currency appreciation that is poised to accelerate throughout 2025 and beyond. So, where does this leave you, the investor, the observer, the person who has spent years, perhaps even decades, navigating the turbulent waters of Iraqi dinar news, sifting through hope, hype, and hearsay to find a signal in all the noise? It leaves you at the most critical juncture in this entire journey, a point where informed, decisive action is separated from passive watching. The analysis from all credible corners, from the detailed insights of economic experts in the Middle East to the daily ground-level reports from figures like Mark Z and the strategic overviews from commentators like Pimpy, is converging on a single, unanimous conclusion: the preparatory phase is concluding. The groundwork laid by the Central Bank of Iraq is so comprehensive, so advanced, and so aligned with the prerequisites for a major currency revaluation that the event itself is now transitioning from a matter of if to a matter of when and how high. The potential for the dinar RV, or revaluation, is no longer a speculative concept. It is the logical and anticipated culmination of a multi-year, national project to which the Iraqi government has staked its reputation and its economic future. The how high is a function of Iraq's undeniable intrinsic worth, its position as home to one of the world's largest proven oil reserves, its vast reserves of other natural resources, and its young, ambitious population, all of which have been grossly undervalued by the current exchange rate. The reset is about closing that gap, about aligning the number on a forex screen with the fundamental, geological, and geopolitical reality of the nation it represents. This alignment promises to be one of the most significant wealth transfer events in modern financial history, a recalibration that will create a new class of millionaires and reshape the economic destiny of an entire region. But this opportunity demands more than just passive hope. It demands vigilance. The final hours and days before any major financial announcement are often filled with volatility, misinformation, and attempts to shake out weak hands. This is why your source of information has never been more critical. Relying on sensationalist YouTube channels or anonymous forum posts at this pivotal moment could cause you to miss the crucial signals or make a decision based on fear rather than fact. The narrative is now being written by central bankers and economic data, not by gurus. Your focus must shift from rumors to real-time official announcements, from speculative chat logs to the actual published statements of the Central Bank of Iraq and the Iraqi Ministry of Finance. The key indicators to watch are no longer just the exchange rate, but the weekly reports on foreign currency sales, the announcements of new international banking partnerships, and the progress reports on Iraq's major economic development projects. These are the true pulse of this movement, the vital signs that will signal the imminent transition. The long night of waiting is finally giving way to the dawn of realization. The game has indeed changed, and the Central Bank of Iraq has set the stage. The actors are in place, the script has been written, and the world is slowly turning its attention to the main event. The question is no longer about the validity of the potential, but about your readiness to act when the final curtain is raised on the old rate and the new value of the Iraqi dinar is revealed to the world.